All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, this is Chris Jackson sitting here in the air chair. It's Thursday, not Tuesday. But today's a special show, as most of them are. But this one here is a little different. I'm sitting here in the air chair talking with Mr. Representative Michael Johnson. He's the state representative, 23rd Street District Vice Chairman of the Black Legislative Caucus. I want to introduce him to someone, to everybody, but also want him to introduce himself and a little bit about his background and whatnot. Mr. Michael.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank you for having me, Chris.
Yes, sir.
I am State Representative Michael L. Johnson of the 23rd District, which I proudly have an opportunity to represent, and those constituents within that district. I've never lived outside of the district, Chris. I've lived abroad and I've lived in other states, but when I live here in Kansas City, I've always stayed within the 23rd District. So it's very dear to me. I think that I know and have known a lot of my constituents, but yet I know that there's still more of my constituents that I need to meet and let them know that I'm here for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that brings new measures to rep your hood.
That's right. Most definitely.
But how important is it to live and represent in the same district? How important is that?
I think it's very important for the simple fact, Chris, that it makes it genuine. You know, when you can step outside and you're aware of who your neighbors are and who the people are in your community, right. Where the churches are, knowing the pastors, knowing the presidents of the neighborhood associations. I think a lot of those things can go far. And if there are any, and also your schools, of course, it's very important. And if you have any type of medical facilities within your district, I think all of these things together, if you're in the knowing about your community, you can serve it better.
So you have a vested interest there.
Super vested.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So we got a number of things we want to talk about today, but and you're a member of you are the vice chairman of the Legislative Black Caucus. So for those who don't actually fully understand what that is or what they do, can you explain to folks that don't know?
Most definitely. The Missouri Legislative Black Caucus is a group of individuals, elected officials, of course, that are minorities that make up half of the Democratic caucus, and the other half we have our Missouri Legislative Black Caucus. We are together wanting to carry the same message across the state of Missouri because we represent over 1 million minorities. So we want to make sure that our voices are heard in unison and that we do carry that same message. And it's also important because it's an opportunity for us to be able to give back and also help in any diaspora with our minority communities within our districts.
Yeah. No miscommunication.
Never.
Clear as a bell.
Want it to be very transparent.
Indeed. And you can move that mic closer if you need to. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's important because, there's a lot that's seen and there's a lot that's not seen. And especially when we're working with different organizations and different committees and different things like that.
Right.
There's a lot of people that we don't know. We don't know who to reach out to. We don't know who has the resources. We don't know who can help us.
Correct.
And that's some things that sound like that's what you're seeking to do. Basically bridge the gap.
Bridging the gap.
Yeah.
So what we do is we have a weekly capital report that we do, which will give our constituents a lot of pertinent information that they need as far as just where resources are available at throughout our districts and throughout our communities.
Indeed. So we talked about that. So some things that's going on in Missouri that the Black Caucus is working on right now, aside from just making those connections. What are they doing now that's leading up to this moment right here where we are currently?
Great question. What we're doing right now is making sure that we are still applying that the same message is being carried. And in carrying the message, the next step would be to take everything that we worked hard this past 5.5 months to be able to implement something positive back into our districts. So one of the main focal points right now is that we're establishing a new way of strategizing so that we can be able to leverage those strategies and leverage our voices and our votes, because that's very, very important in order for us to move forward. Even if we are a part of the Democratic Caucus, we make up half of that, and we need to make sure that not only are our colleagues aware of it, but that we are aware of it, and that we do have a voice, and that we can use it within unison to be able to better serve our people.
Indeed, indeed. And so some of the folks that are actually kind of connected to the caucus to really kind of push this thing forward, who are some of the people that you guys really kind of reach out to really help this train go?
Number one would be our executive director, who is Ms. Cheryl Dozier, and she's very impactful, and she's been there inside of the Capitol over 20 plus years, serving in that capacity. And so she's sort of like, I would say she's sort of like our glue. Yeah, she keeps everything together.
Yeah, and that's important.
Most definitely.
For sure. And then there's a support team that kind of backs her. What are some of the workings of that support team to kind of hold her up?
Okay, so what we'll do is, if we want to put on an event, if it's something that we have concerns with, that we want to make public, and that people have an opportunity to view in or to be a part of it. A lot of times, the NAACP is one of those that are at the forefront of helping, back us. And any local, a lot of times we reach out also to a lot of non-for-profits, and then also locally and private-owned businesses that have vested interests in those districts and communities.
So I know that this is the Legislative Black Caucus, but some of your donors and some of your supporters, are all of them black, or do you actually have folks that help from different diasporas?
All type of diasporas and ethnicities. So we most definitely
they're comfortable with it.
Very much so. And some of them are always there annually, so we very, very much appreciate them as well.
Indeed. Thank you. So Missouri news, some of the things that are going on maybe behind the scenes that we may not be aware of or that we do know, what are some of the things that you can kind of brief us on as far as Missouri news? What's going on in the Show Me State?
I would love to give you some information. So that is not a problem.
Yes, sir.
Well, a lot of right now it's an election season.
Yep.
So a lot of time you'll hear a word called ballot candy that is being used, and ballot candy is normally used to sway or move a person to that side or to that vote, whichever it may be. But I think that the way that we handle politics on my side, the Democrat side, is to make sure that we have transparency, that we're not selling you a dream, that we want to make sure that you what we have to offer is exactly what it is, and not to sell you a pipe dream or anything of that nature. We just want to just keep it 100.
Yeah, out front. Indeed.
Yes, sir.
So, we're obviously coming up on a presidential election, soon. How important, because that's the main focal point. Everybody said they voted, the presidential election. How important is it for folks to get involved in local election?
Local elections affect your national elections.
Oh, how so?
Well, you can carry that same message. So it's like you working for your party. So we're grassroots marketing. And carrying that same message across the board for the whole Democratic Party. So if all else failed, and I would hate for it to come to this, but if it had to, then vote that whole Dem ballot. Right. But I think it's very important that we are at the forefront of pushing our mission statements nationally and locally across the state of Missouri and all the way into D.C.
Okay. See, and I've heard that growing up. They voted. Vote all Dem, and then there are some people that said, "Oh man, that's trash." Vote your your beliefs or your convictions. Right. So go.
Okay, so and that's true as well.
Right.
You vote you vote your conscience,
Mm-hmm.
you vote your concerns,
Mm-hmm.
and you vote for your community.
Mm-hmm.
And me, when I press a button
Yeah.
in Jefferson City inside of the chamber,
Mm-hmm.
it's for the constituents. So
Amen.
it's important for me to have a open relationship with my constituents to
Right.
know exactly what it is that they want.
Yeah.
I'm not who am I to vote and say, no, this is what you need or
Mhm.
this is what you don't need. I'm not the gatekeeper.
Indeed.
I'm humble. I want to work for the people, and
Right.
I always remind my constituents,
Yeah.
I work for you all.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, a lot of times that's where a lot of people get it kind of the sour taste in their mouth because a lot of times even during the election period and stuff like that, you have the people what they say hugging people and kissing babies or how
Shaking hands and kissing babies.
shaking hands, kissing babies, but a lot of times they say, well, I voted, but nothing happened, and there's a lot of angry voters and non-voters.
Right. Well, I think that what happens is it needs to be like an NFT,
Okay.
a digital NFT.
Mhm.
What I mean is that way it follows you all the time.
Mm.
Two things happen. People vote, not enough, but the people that do vote,
Right.
they'll say, well, did nothing happen,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you stay in constant contact?
Mm.
Did you hold that elected official accountable?
Mhm.
Right? And
Yep.
then on the other end,
Mhm.
it affects the elected official as well because they can't say, well, I'm going to do something and not do it.
And not do it.
Me, I want to be held accountable.
Right.
I grew up in the 23rd district, so my skin is thick.
Yeah.
Corrective criticism,
Sure.
bring it because I want to grow. I want to learn. I surround myself with people who are brighter than me, because I want to make sure that we are absolutely giving our best in our efforts to make sure that we have what we need as far as resources, great schools, great opportunities to have great medical insurance, great benefits on jobs. I want everything to be fair. So for one of the reasons, Chris, I'll give you an example. If a contractor or developer wants a letter of support or a letter of recommendation or
Right.
recognition,
Mm-hmm.
I want a letter of accountability.
Okay. Haven't heard that before.
I want a letter saying that, that it's going to be great jobs, fair
Yeah.
wages. There's
Yeah.
going to be people that look like me on the job.
Yeah.
They're going to be black and brown people on the job.
Yeah.
And the benefits will be great as well.
And this is what you can expect from us.
That's what I want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is definitely accountability, man. So I'll let you go ahead and jump into that. But so while you're looking that up, man, you talked about schools, and I didn't have this as a next question, but I want to go ahead and go into this
Okay.
if we can right now.
Please.
So we know that our youth are really struggling in school. We know since COVID, there's been a major drop, but we also noticed that since COVID and since even before that, school shootings, bullying, cyberbullying, mental health, suicide, the 988 number, suicide rate, and just mental health has been a real big deal, man. So can you speak to that? About what you guys are working on with that.
All right. Well, first, Chris, I think that everybody has been, especially since the COVID era,
Indeed.
that everybody has some type of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Man.
Because we've all gone through it.
Yeah.
Either you know someone that we lost, or that you lost, or somebody close to you that lost someone,
Yep.
and it's still impactful as far as how it affects us.
Mm.
A person can see someone in a bad car wreck, and they can run in the house, and from them running in the house and being sort of their mind is just racing like,
Right.
what I just saw.
Yeah.
Has
Adrenaline.
the adrenaline's
Yeah,
pumping.
yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
You can come in the way that your facial expression and just your movements alone can shock someone else
Yeah,
and give
100%.
them post-traumatic stress disorder.
For sure.
So it's something that
It's a
has
ripple
affected
effect.
all of us. It's a very big
Yeah.
ripple effect.
Yeah.
And so some of the things that I'm doing to combat it is I have some bills.
Okay.
I have HB 1793,
Okay.
which creates provisions to mental health leave for employees. And I know a lot of people say, well, that should be left up to the employees. And I say the employees a lot of times aren't counselors or therapists or psychiatrists, so how can they know how you're affected by the things that are bothering you?
And they don't have the capacity.
Exactly.
Bro, listen, PTSD, like you just said, listen,
Yes,
if I'm struggling right now, man, I don't know who to call, who to talk to. I can't even get my head straight.
Right.
So I need you to come in, obviously if you come in, you come in as an advocate for me to help me.
Yes, sir.
And then say, hey, listen, man, hey, you kind of slipping a little bit, man. Are you okay? You know what? Is it noticeable? Yeah, it's noticeable, bro. You're like, okay, how can I help?
The more that we put that information out there, the more genuine we are.
100%.
I usually do of course, mental health is in May.
Yep.
For the advocacy part of it, which is it's 24/7, 365.
For sure.
But that's when they advocate for it.
Yep.
Normally, I would do something which I plan on doing again this year at the Black Archives of the Mid-America. Is a mental health day.
Okay.
An event. When I did it a couple years ago, it was electrifying.
That's one on Vine, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do was just come from a point of genuineness. So I shared my story with
my brother's keeper.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I shared my story.
Yeah.
And Chris, you can't believe how many hands popped up. Being I'm talking about from elementary school kids to our seniors and everybody in between.
Yeah.
They wanted to share their stories.
Yeah.
It's about us opening up to make it okay.
Yeah.
And any time, the best way to connect with your people is to have a genuine story.
100%.
Everybody
got a story.
The hands start flying up.
Yeah.
People were crying. We were hugging. And it was okay to see that many people say. To hear a 79-year-old man say, "I've never shared this story that I'm about to tell everybody in the room.
I held it in.
But from sharing with him, pushed him up to that microphone.
It's okay to say it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And so now we want that to be the normacy.
Yeah.
We want to get rid of the stigma and the stereotype that, hey, what happens in this house stays in here, and don't take our any type of mental problems or anything that we have outside of here.
Yeah.
So we want to debunk that.
Yeah.
And make sure that our people know that we love them and that it's okay to be able to have these type of conversations.
Okay. So you talked about a little bit your upbringing, kind of briefly. So who is Michael Johnson? Mike Johnson. Who is that? The man behind the suit.
I'm somebody that's always cared.
Okay.
I may not have always known the right direction to place that care, but the more that I tell myself each day, just be a better version of yourself. I did a 360 test where I looked in the mirror over about 15 years ago and said, well, if you got any problems, who's the cause of them? I did the 360. I was still in the mirror. I seriously took more accountability. For sure. Self-accountability. Yeah. And then from there, placed the rest of it in God's hands and just wanted to be better each day. And I don't entrust in luck because if you're prepared and the opportunity comes, good things will happen.
Yeah. What didn't you like, if you don't mind me asking, about what you saw before you did that 360? As much as you like to share.
To a point, Chris, too inner focused.
For sure. Yeah.
And not as aware of the people that truly cared about me. I think that some people were around me because of the opportunities that I could possibly present for them.
Yeah.
And just to really have a true sense of self and to know that each day I should be giving back or doing something.
Yeah. And the reason why I asked that question, man, is because I had a conversation with a coworker today, and we were just talking about being selfish. A lot of times people say, you can't be selfish. You can't be selfish. You got to think about others before you say, and you do to a degree.
Right.
But I do think self-care is very important. And if we don't really look at listen, I can't take care of you if I really can't take care of myself. Amen. I have nothing to give you.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Because It takes a healthy me
man.
to be a part of a healthy us.
You don't have bad fruit.
Low hanging.
You don't have some bad fruit. I'm gonna give you this rotten fruit,
Right.
man. So go ahead. Okay, we talked about mental health and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys work with youth programs and things like that?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Let me give a few shots out.
Come on.
So we have A.L. Johnson with Elevated Men,
Okay.
which is a non-for-profit program that actually works with young men and men, regardless of their situation, to make sure that they can be a better version of themselves,
Sure.
and on all diasporas, from the mental health standpoint,
Yeah.
all the way to support as far as jobs,
Yeah.
education,
Yeah.
and actually being able to give back.
Yeah.
And be, to those that are in the program. So we just had AL and his team down at the Capitol last week, and it was amazing. It was truly amazing. They came, and they also lobbying for the gun safety changes. And AL, who's a friend of mine, he's also an insurance guy. My background is insurance as well.
Okay.
So we work on things and how mental health and insurance should be better served if they could coincide more, and we need to make sure that mental health is on the same level as physical health, if not even more, because the same way that we do preventive maintenance,
Right.
okay,
Right.
if I am physically sick or have physical ailments, it's going to cause me some type of stress,
Right.
And so now I went just from having physical ailments to mental ailments.
Yeah.
And so I think that
You can't move either way.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the top of you is your head. So it being at the top, let's start there. Let's make sure that that's working as good as possible to make sure that we can accept anything that we're going through and have a positive attitude to come out on the right side of it.
Yeah, no, that's so key. Even shout out to you, man. Was it A.L.
Johnson?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of times people, when they reach out to kids, they don't know how to connect with them, and it can be difficult, because you got somebody that hadn't really had, for the most part, structure,
right?
You come in like, man, who are you telling me what to do?
Well, you can't come in, and here's the problem. You don't, when you want transparency, especially with our kids, you don't come in and delegate. You come in and ask.
100%.
Ask them how are they,
Indeed.
how they're doing, what bothers them.
Respect is earned.
Respect is earned, not given.
Boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ding.
Right. Yep.
But no, that is so true, man. Because a lot of times you come in, in the way I was raised, I was raised without a father, whatever. But you got guys come in and, man, you respect me. Hold on, brother.
It's people's job. It's my job to respect you.
Yep.
It's your job to give me something to respect.
Ding. So some other things in Missouri news, man, is going on. Since you are actually, man, you're there. What are some of the things, maybe some of the bills, some of the processes, some things that we don't know that we really should be paying attention to?
Our Republicans are trying to defund Planned Parenthood. That would be one.
Okay.
And they're just looking at it from an aspect of abortion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the resources that are there, not only just for women but for men as well.
Like,
okay, for instance, if something's wrong with you, and things aren't working right, then you can go there and get fixed. If you know what I'm saying.
As far as male.
Yes.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
So they're
a little willy whacker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can
Erectile dysfunction.
Another thing, see, but people just look at, well, not people, but some people look at it as just a place where abortions are taking place.
Because that's all we hear.
Right, but there's so much more to it.
Okay.
And I think that it is up to us to make sure that we fill in that donut hole, to fill that gap with some good positive information.
Okay.
So I would say that that's one of them that's high on the list.
Yeah.
Another one is today we were dealing with eminent domain, and how it can affect those, especially those that you say, if you have, for instance, we have farmers, some that do want it, some that don't want it. But then you have those, because they don't want you to say, hey, you don't have to come to me. You don't have to speak to me,
Right.
my family, about this. We can just place this here.
Mhm.
So it's important to know that the bill that we had today would kind of help alleviate that, because it'll be more contractual
Yeah.
as opposed to just
We're taking it. We're
with,
moving
with
right here.
Thanos. You know,
Yeah.
we're just gonna strong arm you.
Yeah.
So that it's a plethora of crazy bills that are going, and which slows up the process on not only on our side but especially on our Senate side. And right now, with us doing the budget, it's very important that we get pieces of legislation moved so that we can get to the budget, because it has to be done by the end of session, or we'll be back for special session.
So in the session, how long is that?
That will be May 17th. We go in
Okay.
normally we're there the second week in January, and we're
Okay.
there to mid-May.
Okay. So are some of these bills directly? Because I know Planned Parenthood is, all over. But I do know a lot of Planned Parenthoods are in low budget in areas of low income areas,
Impoverished areas.
impoverished
yes.
areas. So are there some things that are directly in your observation directly focused on Black and brown people? Needing.
Over half of it.
Okay. Huh. Okay.
Let's cut to the chase. Over
Yeah.
half of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it is, Chris, things can be hidden within a piece of legislation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hidden in plain sight.
hidden in plain sight,
Yeah.
eyes wide shut.
Eyes wide shut. Yeah.
So
sure.
it takes a keen eye and a team
Mm.
to make sure it's some proofreading is going on,
Right.
and not only that, the wording
Mm-hmm.
is so impactful.
Mm-hmm.
May and shall,
Mm-hmm.
Or-
Mm-hmm.
or day and night.
Yeah.
From each other.
Potato,
So
potato.
potato, tomato,
Yeah.
tomato.
Yeah, because and that is so important, man, because there are those words that can be almost the same word but presented, depending on where they're presented in the sentence, can mean two totally different things.
Correct.
And if you don't understand that, you can miss the whole ball, and you can hurt yourself.
You can hurt yourself. You
Yeah.
can hurt your community. You can hurt your constituents.
Yeah. And then so you guys have people to come along, and for the best interest of who you're representing is the community in the 23rd district and whatnot.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we do?
Great question.
What do we do? Where do we go from here?
Stop waiting.
Okay.
Stop.
Local elections. Get involved.
You got to start there.
Turn to that station.
If
Was it station number 2 that you don't want to turn to?
The one you bypass.
The one is every time you turn
But
TV on.
okay, but the information is so imperative. I mean, if people would just stop, if they just took 10 minutes
Yeah.
to watch that channel, it can be very, very impactful.
I've done it.
See, well, you know what it is.
I've done it, brother.
And I tell people,
And it's boring.
yeah,
To be honest with
Yeah,
you, it is
but-
boring, but it's so much information. That's why it's boring.
that's why it's boring, because it's information.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't really want to watch that. You're like, well, wait a minute. What did he just say? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hidden in plain sight.
Hidden in plain sight,
The first channel when you turn TV on.
on
Yeah,
purpose.
on
It's right
purpose.
here.
Mm.
I'm gonna give it to you, but are you gonna use it?
So how can we get involved? Who are some of the people that maybe we if we have an issue with certain things? Who are some of the people that we maybe can because they say write a letter to your congressman, write a letter. Who are some of the people that we can really directly connect to so we can understand what we don't understand?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna hold myself accountable and say me first,
Okay.
because especially right here where we're at.
Yes, sir.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Indeed.
We're sitting right in my district.
100%.
So
Okay. Yep.
I have a priority
Mm.
to make sure that if there are concerns
Yeah.
that we take care of them. And my mentality, Chris, is to not sit back and wait for handouts.
Mm-hmm.
So locally will impact everything. I think that locally, if they see that we have momentum and that we're moving in the right direction,
Right.
and we are
Mm.
flipping seats. We did a hell of a job last year flipping seats, and I think we're going to do an even better job this year. We're going to lose 19 elected officials on the Democratic side, and so we have to make sure that not only we replace them, that we also flip some more seats as well.
What is flip seats?
Flip seats means you take a person who is a Republican and you put a Democrat in that seat.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we want to always retain Democrat in the seats that we will be having people who are terming out or may possibly be running for Senate or for some other statewide election. So I think that it's very, very important that people know this. You hear some people say, well, this is a red state, you know, and let's flip it blue. I'm not even down with any of that. What it is this. If you think it's a red state, it's because you're not voting. And see, if you're voting, then you can have something to say. It gives you a right to be able to say whatever you say that you have concerns about. And I tell people locally, say for instance, Chris, if it's a judge that your family's had problems with somebody in your family, but now hold on, I think my people had the same judge, Chris. Hold on, I think her people had the same. Vote them out
with the same problems.
Vote, If it's people in office that you don't like, have groups of people. We need to have our own caucuses throughout our communities and say, hey,
I don't disagree with that.
Hey, we got to do something about this. And who better than us to do it? Because
you live there.
Because you live there
and you feel the impact,
and you feel it on a daily basis. You know, and if you want to change things, then let's be a part of the movement and not let's not be a hot air.
If you want to change things, change things.
That's it.
It ain't that difficult.
It's really not.
It is. All right, black men are black men. Why do we make things so hard? Why do we make things so hard, man? I mean, it's because I know we love entertainment, we love a lot of these different things, and just me, just watching things is educational. I mean, I do documentaries, reading books, whatever case, but sometimes it takes me a minute to be like, you know what, let me just lock you. I literally have to disassociate myself from this and lock into this. Where does that balance come in at, if that makes sense? Because it's not the most popular thing to do to just sit back and really hone in and educate yourself on what you need to do to focus on what's going on. Like the Channel 2, Channel 3, that's the one you kind of just bypass from. But you know what? I don't watch that. I watch Netflix. Netflix and chill for the rest of the night.
Okay. First of all, let's get all the no's out the way.
Come on.
Those that don't get it. We spend too much time witnessing to people that don't get it. Okay? And so you wasted your valuable time, and maybe they don't know theirs is valuable too.
Right.
And I don't want to see us in situations where that time has surpassed us,
right? And
we didn't grab hold of those that were there, because we spent too much time with the negative as opposed to the positive. Like-minded individuals can bring you more like-minded individuals or change people's mindset.
Right.
With the baby boomers all retired or through, that was a mindset. And they say, well, the older you are, the harder it is to change your mind. Well, can we alter it? Can we tweak it? Can we give you some new information? And can we be there with you the whole process?
Make you think about something.
Make you think about it. The same way if a person says, well, what you got a taste for? I got a taste for helping our people. That's what I got a taste for. And seeing us do better.
That's funny because you say, I want a hamburger. Nah, I want pizza. Like, you know what? That don't sound too bad.
That's right.
It makes sense. You've swayed them without forcing them that way.
And hopefully it's 100%. Through action.
Yeah.
It's through action.
Yeah.
I know I can't always get to everybody, but I guarantee you it'll be a parking lot full of people outside that will say, you know what? Nah, he goes to bat. He works for me. And he realizes that he works for me. So okay, so the baby boomers and the different. So what are you seeing in the millennials and the Gen Zs, and what are you seeing? How are they moving? Well, you know what? I think that it's more positive than some may know. I know some gens that they vote. They're getting and they're passionate about it. 100%. Because see, here it is. Our young people, our young adults are moving in to their workforce careers, and what's happening is they want to live a certain way, right? And they become accustomed to what it is they want, and so a lot of them understand that they put in the work
Right.
to get there. So they're saying, okay, I need some amenities where I live,
And they gonna fight.
and they're going to fight for it.
Bruh.
And see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that they have in common with, say even with our community that is more at risk, or they're in the, gun violence, or,
Right.
or whatever it may be.
Right.
One is in a positive manner, the other
Yeah.
one's in a negative manner, but they all willing to fight.
Yeah.
So if we can sway them
Yeah. Yeah.
and tell them to, hey, you know,
Yeah.
you don't have to just have a burger or a hot dog today.
Yeah.
You know, you can have pizza, you can have steak. We can give you something different. But once
Yeah.
again, it's all of them are reaching out, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
All of them,
Mhm.
the negative and positive,
Mhm.
they're reaching out.
Mhm.
They reach out in different ways.
Mhm.
It's up to us to
It's a
accept
language.
them. It's a language.
Mhm.
hmm
I know.
Now, and it's a verbal language, it's
Yeah.
a body language, it's a mental language.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
they all want to go home
Yeah.
each night and be
Yeah.
okay,
And
and
we'll
be safe,
comfortable
and be comfortable,
Yeah.
and be at peace.
and be at peace. Oh man. Whew. Yeah. Listen, because I do mentoring at a local elementary school here, or middle school. I'm sorry.
Good.
And just to really sit there and get into their heads, man, you know, without getting into their heads, because you can ask them a question and you can see the light bulbs going
Oh,
off.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you can see the people that's like, yeah. But when you see those light bulbs, they're attentive. So I did an exercise the last time we were there. I had everybody put their issues, you know, with
Mhm.
how they felt that day,
Mhm.
and on a sticky pad, and put it in a glass jar.
Okay.
And and I sat there and I seen how the reaction was. Some kids just grabbed the pen, they can just roll it down. Some people grabbed it and they delicately rolled it, and some people grabbed and they, you know, slam dunked or whatever. But to see the different personalities of the different people, so for one, they was engaged, but these are all different people. They don't speak the same language,
Correct.
in that aspect,
Right.
But they were doing the same thing, and I think that's where we get confused, because everybody don't learn the same, everybody
Correct.
don't speak the same, everybody don't move the same. For you to give everybody this square block, it's like, yo, man, that don't even make sense to me. Well, why not? Why don't it make sense? Because it don't. Then now you're mad. Well, turn it around a little bit. That's all you
it.
got to do.
That's it.
And that sparks the conversation, and it makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I've learned.
Well, hey, I tell you what, if we could do that more
Yeah,
with more of our students, I think that we'd
Yeah.
be better off. I think it also gives a sense of team building,
yeah,
which is, to me, that should be in our curriculums.
100%.
You know,
Yeah,
on how to lift each other up and work together, as
Yeah.
opposed to the division is just too deep.
it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Low, like talked about the fruit. It's a low hanging fruit.
Yes, sir.
It's easy to divide. It's easy to teach hate. It's easy to not care. And it's easy to be like, you know what? Here, take this card. Go about your business.
That's it.
But then you produced. That's what you produced.
And that's what that will produce.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So listen, we got a few more minutes.
Okay.
So about so some of the things that you're concerned about. So personally, what are some of the things that you're concerned about in the team that you're working with? What are some things that are on your heart, man? Michael.
Mental health is at the is at the top for us in our communities, for
Yes,
our
sir.
Black and brown people
Yep.
in our communities. Education
Yep.
is going to always stay at the forefront.
Yep. I
And
know dyslexia has come. You know, it's been a big thing. ADHD has been. Autism has been. It's a big deal too.
So you hit it on. So reading.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into any detail, but
Okay.
I'm aware that there's a lot of money that since the 70s and 80s
Yeah.
that has been in the budget for our school systems that goes unused and unutilized. And it's almost by design, it seems, that the money would sit there, but eyes were wide shut. And we're like, oh, no, there's no need for us to touch that. So it has indoctrinated us. If you can't read, you probably there's a greater chance that you can end up in prison. Over six, I think nationally, I'm pretty sure it's well over 40. I think I had read at one point that it was almost 60% of those incarcerated
Way below reading grade
are still
level.
reading on the elementary grade levels.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and which is it hurts.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny that you talked about that. because there was a local school that they closed, well, multiple, but this one in particular, they closed down. It was King, I'll say. So I went by there one day, and I looked in there, and there were books and books and books, and just lined up against the floor. And so I talked to one of the ladies when they closed down one of the Phillips in there, and I talked to her. She's like, "Yeah, well," she said, we've had computers that we hadn't even used, just still sitting in the boxes, and and just like we just haven't. It wasn't in the curriculum. We had them. It were in the budget.
Right.
They were there for us, but they wasn't in the curriculum. And I'm like, so that's a waste of money.
That's a waste of money.
But yet, some of the sports have been, out of school, arts, music, those things are leaving school. Why is it? What's going on in the schools?
I'm another shout out. Dr. Collier, our superintendent, is doing a great job of re-implementing music and art because it's so important, and it's going to help combat our mental health. You can't. To me, when there's mental health, art needs to be at the forefront of it.
Expression. It's a form of expression.
Now I can see where you're at. Now I see how you feel. Without you even having to tell me. You don't even have to open up your mouth.
Yeah.
So, and I think that I've watched it work wonders for people.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the cheapest and the easiest forms of rehabilitation
100%.
that is the most impactful.
Yeah. Because it's literally, and that's why I did the exercise with the young people, because it's literally getting it out of their head on paper and getting rid of it.
Yep.
And I think that's the art. My daughter, she's 13, she does art and stuff, man. But to literally see a blank canvas and see what's in here out there. It's like, listen, some kids art be kind of dark, but that's how they feel. Then that gives you a better assessment of, what, maybe we need to talk to them a little differently or whatever the case. And then you're not giving them a cookie cutter program. You're not giving them you're giving them something that's specifically tailored to how they feel.
Most definitely.
And then they don't feel left out. And I think that's the deal, man. A lot of times kids, it ain't the fact that they're not getting it. It's the fact that they feel left out, like we're left behind. Like you're talking to us, but you're not talking. You're talking at us, but not to us. Yeah.
So another Quez Beasley, who was over the 18th and Vine Art Festival.
Yeah.
Who you mentioned your daughter being an artist. I think you should reach out and get her signed up because. The great thing about it is it does combat mental health, of course, and it's a great weekend. It's phenomenal, and no artist pays a vendor fee, and the artists get paid.
Come on,
sign your daughter up.
Yeah,
let's get her signed up.
I will holler at him. Yeah. Quez, he did a show with me some time ago because he did a hair show years ago.
And this year he's going to have he's implementing back in because it's art. Music, dance, and this year he's implementing. And it's also fashion, of course. So this year he's going to implement the hair show again as well.
Quez dope, man.
Yeah, I'm dope.
Quez is dope, bro.
Yeah.
We talked a couple times, man, because he did the show. He just, you gotta love his spirit, though.
You have to,
because he cares,
and it's resiliency.
And you feel it.
Yeah.
It ain't fake.
Nah, not at all. It's genuine.
It's genuine, man.
And that's the type of people that we need to work with.
Yeah, because you talking about Dart, I'm like, hold on for a second. But that's important, man. It really is because it takes all of that.
It does.
Like it's not one specific thing, man. It's all of that to really get everybody on the same page.
And not only does it do that, Chris, it also takes that artist and really invest them into that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Right? So that they know that, we see their worth through their work and the passion that they have for their work. So
their worth and their work.
All together. Yeah. And one of the things Quez is doing now is he wants a building where he can help house artists just so that they can be at peace and be creative.
He gonna get it.
Everything that he wants to do, he does.
I know.
And I he knows that I'm one of his biggest fans and supporters.
My man. Big up, Quez.
Shout out, Quez.
Shout out, Quez, man. So, all right. How do people reach out to you? How can folks connect to you? How can people, if they really want to lock in, if they really want to stay in the know? I don't know if you have a newsletter. How can people really just lock in and to really stay plugged in, so we don't miss a lot of this stuff.
Okay, so I do, and it's on all of my social media sites. I do have a Capitol report that is out there weekly,
Okay.
and so they'll have access to that. Then I also have a website, Missouri.com. You can also access the Capitol report there, any updates. And on the Capitol report, it also has all of the resources that are available within our district. So when you were talking about that earlier, if a person just picks up the Capitol report, a lot of very, very impactful and needed information is there. Dealing with mental telehealth, all type of things that are right there. Pantries, free medical facilities.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of information that is very needed or in these newsletters.
That's a show that I really need to have, the medical portion of it, because a lot of times people suffer in silence.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times the mental health and the physical health, the disconnect is there, but it needs to be connected. It's like we're, a body with two different, what I'm saying, like outside of each other, and it needs to be connected, like making a whole.
Make it whole.
Making a
Whole person.
Her whole person, man. And I think that's what I know that that's what we need to make whole communities.
Correct.
We ain't the hood, we the neighborhood.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I grew up, that's what we were.
Right.
Neighborhood. And
the word brother the word brother has other in it. That's my other brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and yeah. So, but even saying that, man, is something that we really need to change the dynamic, because it's not.
We have to.
It's not like it wasn't there.
Right.
We just got lost a little bit.
There's been a disconnection. Like when we were coming up, then we still had our OGs and our seniors that we listened to, and now there's just been such a disconnect that you don't see that anymore. And I think that we're responsible to make sure that we get that back with our youth.
Especially since we see it and we know what's happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't turn a blind. You can't unsee or turn a blind eye.
I was about to say you can't unsee it.
That's
man,
right.
bro, taking my words on my mouth, bro.
Yes,
Hold on.
Hey, we on the same page?
Yeah, but thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, man. So before we get here, is there anything that you'd like to tell the people, man, before we get out of here? What is something you'd like to leave us with?
I'd like to leave everybody with, if you are sitting around and you know that, and you talk about what you don't like throughout your city or your community or within the district that you live in, do something different. Vote. Vote. Make a difference. Then talk your talk. Then hold everybody accountable, because people want to hold elected officials accountable, which makes sense.
Right.
But hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Get out and vote. And if you are a voter, take somebody that normally doesn't vote with you. Okay? And work on them. This is grassroots marketing has to take place across the whole board. It can't just be from a certain few individuals. If you care and you want to make a difference and be a part of the difference, then it starts with the vote on the local level.
Yeah. VOTE.
That's right.
Vote.
And voter registration. And we got to make sure that our teenagers are aware of how important their vote is. And if they want to make a difference and start making that difference early on in their life, there's no better time than now.
Yeah, because we had a low turnout last time, man.
We got to.
The school board turnout was super low. Like I had somebody call me, like, bro, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of the numbers, man. I'm ashamed.
What happened?
It's probably another good show, but
folks,
drugs ran rampant in our communities. Right, it was a disconnect from children, their parents, and their grandparents. That has gotten us to this point where nobody cares. No, the youngsters don't listen to the seniors, and the seniors don't want to talk to the youngsters.
Yeah.
And we grew up in an era where,
and we both can learn from each other.
and we can learn. It's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I get such a pleasure of being able to sit and just listen to my seniors speak.
Yeah. Same here.
I mean, I'm a sponge. I'm
Yeah.
soaking that knowledge up
Yeah.
because I think that they're giving us those key gems
Yeah.
and those olive branches.
Yeah.
And they're saying, to me, you giving me the knowledge, that's you giving me my flowers while I'm still here.
100%.
And me listening is
And-
giving you yours.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And they can be the wisdom.
And me listening and doing something.
And doing something.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say they can be the wisdom. I can be the voice because
Yeah.
then we got to put it in action.
Yeah. So yeah, you the head and the brain. I'm the legs.
That's it.
We're gonna move it.
Are we gonna sit still? Or are we gonna do it moving?
And rot. Stink.
We can't do
But
it.
we got to get better.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get better.
We are.
We're going to. We got folks like Representative Mike Johnson here, sitting here, man, talking about what's going on with the Black Caucus, and things like that. And I've had Nimrod Chopper from the NAACP on Zoom. Yeah, and I got to get him back in here too.
Most definitely.
I reached out to him when they had the situation going through Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, is this true? He said, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, oh. I said, come, you got to talk about this, man. 'Cause, we getting affected, just driving through the state. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But anyway, that's that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate being able to be here.
100%.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Walker, we're going to wrap this thing up. This is another episode of Street Therapy, KC. My goal is to bring therapists, thought leaders, folks that are in the community that's doing things to move our community forward. Today has been a great show. Representative of the 23rd District, Mr. Michael Johnson. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Vice Chair of the Black Caucus. Thank you.
Most definitely.
We'll
You're
stay
welcome.
connected.
Oh, for sure.
We'll get you back in here, and hopefully, man, we can. And if it has to be Zoom or come back in, but definitely like to stay updated because we have to. We don't know what we don't know, man.
You're in the district, so it's nothing for me to pull up on you.
Hey, yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Hey, that's accountable, right? Y'all heard it.
That's right. No, hold me accountable.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, and until next time, man, y'all take care of yourself and each other, man. God bless. Peace.
God bless.